So part 1 of after birth. So now y'all, again, remember I told y'all I brought my baby home and all. And his family wanted to see her. So me, again, like I told y'all, I would never stop my daughter and her people from seeing each other. So of course I told my mom it's okay. I don't feel no way if they come see her. So now his cousins and his mom and his daddy come. And his mama just doing the most and examining my baby. So I'm looking at her and looking at my mom, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, what is she doing? Like, she was holding my child as if the child wasn't a child. Like, she was just, like, giving my baby the side eye and all. So then she was like, oh, well, we need to talk to you about something. And my mother's like, okay, what do we need to talk about? So she was like, well, my son had pulled me to the side and told me a few things, and I just want to run it by you real quick. Part 2. Whoop, there it is. Part 2. So now this heifer goes and tell my mama, well, I had a talk with my son, and he don't think the baby his. I don't think it's his either. And my mother's like, what are you talking about? How can you come up with this conclusion? Tell me why. Well, he told me some things happened over the summer, and he just don't think that that's his baby. My mother's like, elaborate on what you're talking about. She was like, well, we not going to go into details, but he did let me know that he only was sexually active with your daughter one time. My mother was like, and you really believe that? And she was like, well, I trust my son, and I know that he wouldn't lie to me. And if he said he was only having sex with her one time, then we need to do a DNA test. So now they're requesting the DNA test. Part 3. That's what I'm saying. So now her and my mama get to arguing. And 12 or 9, ain't nobody going to disrespect my mama, whether me and my mama talk or not. Ain't nobody going to disrespect her. So I jump in the argument. And I'm like, what do you mean he told you we only have sex one time? Your son took my virginity. So she get to saying, that's not what he said, and we need a DNA test, and until the DNA test is proven, basically, they're not going to do nothing for the child. So now here I am, pissed, because him and his family's there. He's not saying nothing at all. And I'm just standing here like, you really about to sit around here and let your mama say all this and you're really lying to her? So now me and him get to arguing. So now that me and him get to arguing, he's like, oh, it was only one time. You need to tell the truth because I'm in big trouble because of this. As if I forced you to have sex with me, sir. Part 4. So now I'm like, we had sex. We had sex numerous times. Why are you lying to your mom? So now at this point, he's just denying everything. So, of course, I'm pissed. I tell my mom they need to go. They can't be. I don't want them around my baby. But again, y'all, I keep telling y'all I'm not the type to keep my child from her people. So now a few days go by, and his mother calls my mom and wanted to apologize. Which, it was all BS, but she wanted to apologize. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, she apologized. I'll let my baby go over there. So now I wanted to go swimming with my friends in the neighborhood. And I didn't have nobody to watch my baby because my mom was at work and my aunt, she wasn't about to watch my baby at that moment. So now the mom was like, well, I'll watch my baby, my grandbaby. I'll go ahead and watch her. So out of the blue, I'm like, why she want to watch my baby? But then again, that's her granddaughter. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I bring my baby to her house. Okay, y'all, I got 5. So, of course, I dropped my baby off and I walked up the road, where the pool was. And a few hours go by and I want to go home, so I go get my baby. And when I pick up my baby, she's acting like everything's normal. Like, oh, my goodness, she did so good, this, that, and the third. So in my head, I'm asking, like, why the hell is she telling me my baby did good as if she's a toddler, she gonna make mess? I ain't asked you that. So I went home and I told my mom, because my mom didn't even know that I dropped my baby off down to their house. So now my mother's home and she was like, where you coming from? And I was like, oh, I was at my friend's house and I dropped, my baby off to her people's house. And I was at the pool. And my mother was like, why you didn't call me to let me know that you was dropping her off over there? And I was like, well, Mom, that's her people's too. And I needed somebody to watch her while I want to go to the pool. Mom was like, they ain't got no damn sense. And they bet not have done nothing to my grandbaby. Not putting 2 and 2 together, I'm like, okay, what is she talking about? Okay, y'all. About to post part 6.